It's not a walkthrough, playthrough, review, anything like that. It's just me playing the game badly so you can see what it looks like. Hello, it's the Friday Talkie. Take 500 and something. You would not believe how hard a time I've had making this video. Interruptions, telephone, dogs escaping and me chasing them down the street and stuff like that. So I'll try again. I mentioned recently one of the great things about this channel and doing this channel is I do get to meet, speak to, comment, whatever, with some of the programmers. As I mentioned, the program of TFX on the Amiga, Alien Invaders on the Dragon 32, Mike Mahoney of Alligator Software, to name but three. And in fact yesterday I got a comment from Stu of Sensible Software, and I'm just thrilled to bits about that, because that's like having royalty walk into your living room and say hi. So Stu, if you're watching, Sensible Software, awesome. Now there is a downside to all of this, and there are lots of channels who the videos they make, they only make videos of the games that they like. And that's cool, because it means you have a very positive channel. They're putting across their enthusiasm for gaming. I do something a bit different, because I'm a collector and not everything in my collection is great, but I want to show everything, so I play them, and if they're not great I say so. I'm brutally honest, and that can lead to some pretty negative videos. I try to make them amusing anyway. Like, the game might be great, might be crap, but I try and still make the video good. And this can lead to some problems. First, I would say, my view on this, I don't feel too bad about doing that with retro games, because the software house, the publisher, the programmer, whatever, they've made their money. I'm not going to be stopping anyone going out and buying it, at least in any way that's going to create money for the publishers or whatever. I'm not harming them, so I don't feel bad in that sense. Modern games, well, largely I don't do modern games, but on the odd occasion that I do, I think if someone said to me, would you do a video of my game, and it was contemporary, it was on the market right now, if I didn't like it, I would have to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that, because I don't want to be doing something that is going to interfere with someone's livelihood. You know, if they're making their living programming and I'm saying bad things about it and that stops people buying it, I don't want to do that. You know, I might think it's rubbish and I might think people actually shouldn't buy this, but I am absolutely not going to go out there and do that, because it is someone's living. But I don't feel bad if it is an old retro game, because they made the money. So anyway, but there is the other side of it. Sometimes you do get the programmers coming back to you and saying, hold on a minute, I'm not happy about this. And that has happened twice recently. And it is difficult to know how to deal with. And I've thought about this a bit, whether to name the two games that I'm talking about, and I've decided I will. One of them was Paperboy on the BBC Micro. Now, I don't remember if I actually said it in the video, but I certainly said it in comments. Someone said, how can this be this bad? And I said, it's just probably shoddy programming. And the programmer has commented and said, well, okay, yes, the game is bad, but it's not shoddy programming, it is the limitations of the hardware, it just couldn't be made to do it better. And I totally accepted that and sent him a message, you know, apologising for unfairly maligning him. And I put an annotation in the video as well to that effect, saying, okay, this isn't the programmer's fault, it is the hardware. And he was very reasonable about that as well, I must say. Another one where the guy, I think, was maybe a little bit more ticked off was Crazy Kong on the VIC-20. Now here's the thing, the game is not great. It was one of those games that was on do you know the 50 games on one tape compilations that they released in the UK? They notoriously bad. And I said so in the video, and the programmers come back and said, well, hey, hold on a minute, I was 14 at the time. So, and you know, I did apologise to him in comments for offending, and also put up an annotation. And there's the thing, he was 14, and as a program written by a 14-year-old, as a hobby, something done as a hobby, it was great and vastly better than anything I could do. But as a piece of commercially released software, it was to my mind, unacceptable as commercial software. You pay money, you expect better than that. Obviously these 50 game tapes are notoriously bad, and there's the thing, the publishers were exploiting schoolboys, hobbyists, you know, giving them some money and just bunging it all on a tape. Great for the kids at the time, they got more money than they would have got in their pocket money by quite a margin. But they then have to face people like me years later saying, this is crap. And it's a difficult one, because my appraisal of the game was honest. It is a crap game, or at least it is not good enough. It is not good enough for a commercial release, and it's very, very difficult when you're faced with someone saying, I'm not happy about this, because I don't want to offend. I didn't want to offend him, I didn't want to offend the guy who did Paperboy. When you've got someone coming back and saying, not really happy about this, should you take the videos down? I didn't. I left them up. I put up the annotations that were like qualifying what I said, apologising for offending, saying, you know, to be fair to the programmer, he was 14 at the time, and really it is the publisher who is at fault. This should not have been released as commercial software. But I didn't take them down, and the reason for that being, what I hadn't done in those videos was say something that was blatantly untrue. It was harsh, but it was not untrue. If anything I'd said had been untrue, I would have taken them down. And the thing is, if you start taking things down just because they upset someone, you leave yourself open to, shall we say, dishonest people who might come up and say, I'm the programmer of this, and I'm not happy about it. They might not be the programmer. You know, there are people out there who are malicious, who might want to mess with your channel and have you take your videos down. So I'm very careful about that. And the thing about this, and the thing I've learned from it myself, is say what you mean and mean what you say. Basically be honest, which I always try to be, because there isn't always time to think about it. When I'm recording, I do stuff completely off the cuff, as you know. I'm coming to a lot of these games completely new. I don't know what I'm going to think. I haven't rehearsed or scripted or anything like that. I just play the game and I go blah blah blah, and what I say is my honest, that they are my thoughts as I'm playing it. And sometimes what I'm saying I would not say if I was more familiar with that game. I say some things are not great, when if I learned more about the game I might think better of it. But that's not what I'm about. I'm not about reviewing, I'm about first impressions, whether they're accurate or not, as long as they're honest. Yeah, I think on my multiple takes of this, I've gone round and round and round and repeated myself. I think I've kind of said what I need to say about that. I think that covers it all, really. Yes, say what you mean what you say, be honest, be prepared to get a slap from a programmer sometimes. I think I kind of wasn't expecting it, wasn't prepared for it, but there it is. Alright, the other thing I wanted to talk about, Gran Turismo. What the hell? Was Gran Turismo 5 meant to be a release title? I don't think it was, but it was supposed to be released, what, 2 years ago, perhaps? We are getting used to Polyphony Digital delaying their games, their Gran Turismo games. Gran Turismo for the PSP was meant to be a release title, and it got released, what, 4 years later, or something crazy like that. Now, Gran Turismo 5, I think, was meant to be released 3 years ago, I'm not sure. But then, after delay after delay after delay, we got a rock-solid release date of the 2nd of November. And there was much rejoicing and anticipation, because it's getting near to 2nd of November. And guess what? They've delayed it again. What the hell? Now, I don't want to bandy around phrases like unprofessional, but I know Polyphony Digital are perfectionists. They want this game to be the best racing game they can possibly make, and possibly that has ever been made, and that's great. And I know there are some of the very, very best games that have ever been made for some systems are the ones that are released towards the end of the system's lifetime, like Gunstar Heroes. That was towards the end of the Mega Drive, so, you know, brilliant game. They had learned the ins and outs of the system. But you don't expect a game that was highly anticipated on the release of a console to be released towards the end of the life of a console. That's just ridiculous. It doesn't matter if you make the best game on the planet if you release it 5 years after the console was discontinued. Polyphony Digital, get on with it. Stop messing around. We want to play the game already. Okay. Shoutouts. Now, I'm not sure how much time I've got left, but there's either going to be one or two, depending on if I can fit them both in. And the dogs are being arseholes, so I'm going to have to go and sort them out before I continue, as I kick the camera tripod thing. Right, okay, Right then, shoutouts. First is, I'm not completely sure how to pronounce this. Is it Hindleyak? Hindleyak? I'm going to say Hindleyak. I would say I discovered him recently. No, he discovered me recently, and I went and had a look at his channel. Harry Yak, it says here. His channel is great. He has got gameplay videos with commentary, and his commentary is great. It's witty, and he's got quite a dry sense of humour, and very, very entertaining is what it is. Games, all kinds, different systems, yeah, Mega Drive, Amstrad, PlayStation, I think that's N64, all kinds of stuff. You're probably familiar now with the kind of videos that I like, and yes, these are very much the kind of videos that I like. He's got, how many videos has he got? He's got 31 videos at the moment. I don't know, how long has he been doing this? Let's have a look. Couple of years. He's currently at 42 subscribers. I think, well, you know, I think he deserves way more than that. I always do. I think all the people I shout out deserve more than they've got, because they are all great, and his is one of those. Well worth a look. Hindleyak, something like that. Harry. Yeah, excellent channel. Okay, so that was just one shout out. I did record a second one, but then on looking back, I'd already shouted that person out already. Just goes to show I like the channels that I like, even if I forget that I like them. Yeah. Okay, closing comments then, really. Should be live chat tomorrow night, all being well. I will have that set to members only, as in guests can't chat. You know, free sign up, blah blah, blog TV. I'll do an announced video. What else? I know there was something else. Yes, coming up in the next week, hopefully. I did say I would do it. I'm going to be doing a video talking about the various chipsets in the Commodore Amiga, because, you know, the original chipset, the enhanced chipset, the AGA, blah blah blah. Said I would do it. Going to be coming up very soon, so keep an eye open for that. I think that covers everything. Probably doesn't. I usually forget loads of stuff and then remember later and kick myself for forgetting. Okay, thank you for watching. This and videos of other retro games in my collection, and a video of my console and computer collection, can be found on my YouTube channel, along with a link to my website retrogamingcollector.com, so take a look at that if you've got nothing better to do. Thank you for watching.